Hello and welcome back to The Astral Tourist. Today's episode is a blast from the past from August of 2021. I am bringing it back for all the new subscribers. Thanks everyone for subscribing, and thanks for all the people who have subscribed before. So in today's episode, I'll be sharing an unforgettable astral journey, a trip that led me to a strange dark house in the lower astral plane. There I found myself surrounded by mysterious figures and an unexpected intruder. After confronting this unwelcome guest, I encountered some surprising allies and even took a peaceful detour to a beautiful restaurant in the mountains of Kargil, India. I hope I said that correctly. If not, I apologize. Somebody can maybe correct me in the comments. Join me as we phase into this unique astral adventure filled with astral self-defense, intriguing characters, and a few unexpected treats from beyond. When I became aware that I was astral projecting, I found myself inside a house. It was evening and the place felt oddly familiar, even though I had never lived there in the physical world. The house was very dark, and I wasn't sure why. I remember I was still getting my bearings. I thought maybe it had something to do with energy lines or perhaps ley lines. These are places that reside over magnetic areas of power. Or perhaps I had lived there in a past life. My mind was kind of spinning, and whatever the reason, I vaguely remembered finding myself spontaneously phasing into this place whenever I was low on energy and drifting through the lower astral planes. So this is a place that at the time I was going to regularly in the astral, just spontaneously. And, I haven't been there in years, actually. But I think if I went back there like tonight or tomorrow night, it would feel just as familiar. The house itself was large and imposing, though a bit run down. It wasn't located in the best part of the astral plane, that's for sure, but I felt comfortable enough to stay there a while. As I settled in, I remembered that I actually shared this space with 5 other men. Like, all of this information was just kind of coming to me. All the information from when I had been there before, although I couldn't make out most of it, just these details were coming to me. And I just knew them. They were all large men, think soldiers, paramilitary types, or even giant football players. I never really got to know them particularly well, but over the years we had developed some kind of unspoken brotherhood. They'd show up when they needed rest, and sometimes I would be there too. As I became more stabilized in this area, I decided to check the fridge. The men often left me food I had remembered, and I'd return the favor whenever I could. Today I was low on energy, so when I opened the refrigerator, I found they'd left me a few hamburgers and some boiled eggs. I took just one of the eggs, leaving them the hamburgers and the second egg. I couldn't taste the food, but I could feel its texture, which was strange, but somehow satisfying. I wasn't sure when the men might show up or if they would at all, so I decided to check the locks and make sure everything was secure. This was a shared space, and I felt responsible for it. I went around turning on a few lights to make sure everything was in order. The house was too large to fully illuminate, so I only did what I could. Afterward, I faced outside through a wall to inspect the place from the street. That's when I saw her, a dark, slender figure with a head covering, slipping through the left side wall. It looked like it was to the left because I'm on the street looking straight at the place, and so she was going in to my left. I hadn't checked that side yet, so I watched, unsure of what she was doing. There could have been any number of reasons someone might enter a house like this. Maybe she was a hungry ghost, desperate for energy. Maybe she had malevolent intentions. Or maybe she'd simply made a mistake and wandered into the wrong place. I couldn't be sure, and I do like to give people the benefit of the doubt since people often get confused in the astral. So anyway, I used my 360 vision to peer through the walls. It's not something many people talk about, but when I'm focused enough, I can use it to see through barriers rather than just getting a panoramic view. That's how I discovered she was in one of the upstairs darker rooms of the house, stuffing things into a bag. As I watched, I realized this wasn't random. This wasn't some lost soul in need. It was deliberate. She was being methodical, and she was stealing from us. Knowing I was still a bit low on energy, I sent out a telepathic call for backup to any astral authorities nearby. Even in places like this, there are rules. People generally look out for each other, but there was no response, so I decided to take care of the intruder myself. Normally, I would just take care of situations like this myself anyway, or just wake myself up. I wasn't ready to give up my precious time in the astral yet, though. I also didn't want to leave this intruder for the other 5 men to deal with, since they might arrive tired like I did. I thought for a moment, then made my decision. I re-entered the house quickly, immediately manifesting in a denser astral form right in front of the thief. I was aiming for the element of surprise. I telepathed forcefully. Do you think you can get away with going inside people's homes and taking their things without permission? Instead of responding, she charged at me, trying to overpower me. I wasn't about to let that happen. Using my energy reserves, I redirected her force, just like they teach in martial arts. Instead of letting her push through me or outright resisting her, I hurled us both sideways through the wall and out into the street. It happened so fast, she did not know what hit her. I even impressed myself, considering I was low on energy and risking waking up at that point. She was clearly taken by surprise. I hovered in the air, waiting for more, but she bolted into the dark night, disappearing down the street. After dealing with the intruder, I took a moment to make sure everything was secure in the house. I reinforced the side where she had entered with more energy, double-checking the locks and windows. Just as I was about to leave, my astral phone rang. It appeared in its most basic form, just a dark rectangular block with wide buttons, which is pretty typical for the lower astral realms. The call was from a friend who had sensed my distress. I don't know how she sensed it, but she did. She suggested I visit some energy healers, and we agreed to meet across the street. I told her I wanted to wait a bit longer in case the men returned. Shortly after, there was a knock at the door. Unsure if it could be the intruder's accomplice, if she had one, or a response to my earlier distress call, I used my 360 vision to peer through the door. Before I could see anything, another phone call came in right away. It was a man speaking slowly and through static, claiming to be with the authorities. He explained he had picked up my telepathic broadcast and that his friend had tracked down the intruder. That friend was now at the door. I checked through the door again and saw a tall uniformed man with the intruder, who was now out of her dark disguise. She had finally been detained. I phased outside to speak with him. The officer thanked me for reporting her, explaining that she had been causing trouble across several astral dimensions. He asked me to imprint her image in my mind, warning me never to trust her if I encountered her again, as she was manipulative and dangerous. I thanked him, acknowledging how valuable his time was in the astral. The group of men finally arrived, and I telepathically shared the image of the intruder with them. All 5 were present this time, though one seemed much more aware than the others and grasped the situation more clearly. They agreed to keep an eye out for her and report her if she appeared again. They also mentioned that more friends were coming over for a movie, but that they wouldn't bother me. I remembered my friend across the street waiting to pick me up in the parking lot, so I told the guys they could enjoy their movie without me. I couldn't help but wonder if I'd ever watched movies with them before. It felt like I had. I was getting some deja vu going on, and I was thinking it was an odd but fun thought. And as hard as I tried to remember, I just couldn't remember. As I prepared to leave, I noticed some of the more tired-looking men heading straight for the burgers in the fridge. I was relieved I had not eaten those. I phased through the front door and made my way towards the parking lot across the street. As I crossed the dark, empty street to meet my friend, a man approached from a distance. He had a curly, bushy mustache and reddish-brown hair. Though he tried to appear serious and burly, I could tell he had a playful disposition. He asked if I needed an astral bodyguard, and even offered his services to keep a secret lover, well, secret. He reminded me of a used car salesman, only instead of cars, he was trying to sell me bodyguard services. I wasn't interested, so I explained that I didn't have any secret lovers to keep hidden. He didn't seem entirely convinced at first. After a bit more back and forth, I finally made it clear that I simply shared the house with those men, and none of them were secret lovers. Satisfied, he eventually left me alone. Well, I guess you never know who you'll meet in the astral. He must have picked up on some of the commotion with all the excitement going on earlier. I finally met my friend in the parking lot, and she teleported us to her healer friends to ensure I hadn't picked up any unwanted, weird energy after my rough encounter. They examined me in a bright white room using various psychic energy scans, along with some high-tech futuristic equipment. One healer noticed a large bruise on my astral leg and looked concerned. I explained that I often experience muscle aches in the physical world, especially in the summer heat. That seemed to calm her down. She had simply been interpreting my physical discomfort as an astral bruise. She also observed some minor swelling and sensitivity to salt, but nothing too alarming. Interestingly, I do have a slight sensitivity to salt in the physical world. The good news was that I was free of any weird, nasty, negative energies. One of the most exciting moments of the experience came when one of my friend's energy healer companions offered to take me somewhere cooler to help me relax. He had wispy, slightly messy hair, a mix of brown and blonde hues, and his energy was vibrant and eager. Despite feeling tired, I decided to go along with the idea. He held out his hand, and together we traveled to a beautiful outdoor restaurant surrounded by cool, refreshing air. The evening air felt incredible after enduring relentless heat all summer. The restaurant had small fires and lanterns to ward off the chill, creating a cozy, welcoming atmosphere. The seating was equally inviting, chairs adorned with delicate white lace patterns and soft silk-like surfaces that were a joy to sit on. Despite my lingering fatigue, I kept my focus sharp, determined not to let any distractions cloud my perception of the astral experience. The man ordered specialty desserts for us, chocolate lava cake paired with turmeric ice cream on the side. While I couldn't taste it fully, I could feel the sensations, the warm melted chocolate, the moist cake, and the cooling effect of the ice cream. The combination was extraordinary, making me feel as though I had truly traveled somewhere remarkable. And there was also something about the taste of the turmeric and the chocolate lava cake. I say I can't taste very well in the astral, but I think I did somehow sense the combination altogether and maybe even slightly tasted it. There was something very remarkable about it. I saw Himalayan mountain ranges in the background, so I suspected we were in India. A quick search upon waking confirmed my guess. We had been in the region of Kargil, India. The mountain ranges looked very, very specific, so I just kept searching and searching until I found those exact ones, and I came up with all the searching Kargil, India. I wonder if there's a restaurant really like that there, or if it's just in the astral. That's all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this astral adventure as much as I did. Remember, the astral realm is vast and full of surprises. Every journey brings something new. If you've had any unusual experiences of your own or have questions, feel free to reach out and share. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share so you never miss an episode. Until next time, happy astral travels.